Yeah, I got the corn planter pulled around and just started going over here roughly, checking out the biggest stuff first, see what the major thing is. And I don't know if I'm going to be putting fertilizer through this or not. Again, I don't know if I can handle that many bags the way my hip and back is, but it's probably just as fast and easy to broadcast it on. But if I do that, I really need to have the ground plowed. I don't know if I did no-till it, whether just broadcasting the fertilizer on top would be enough. I mean, got a risk of losing a lot of fertilizer from washing off, or what the hell they call it, not evaporation, but respiration, is that the word I want? Especially the nitrogen, and once it gets air, if it's on top of the ground, it volatilizes and it could dissipate into the air instead of into the ground. Then again, if I could time it just right to spread it on and get a light rain on it, would be good. But the first problem I have is the fertilizer openers. 3 of them were seized up. I did get them loose and turned some. That one there's dragging too hard. I think the bearings about shot it in anyhow. That one loosened up enough, it probably would run. That one over there, I'd have to work on a little bit more. I just took a pipe wrench on them, just turned them briefly. That one turned fine. If I got the right one, see there's left and right. You can see how this one, the arm comes on this side of the brace, and this one, the arm comes on this side. Well, there's left and right parts. And I know I have enough bearings and stuff for one disc, but I don't know if it's a left one or a right one, or which one I do actually have. So I don't know if I'll tear into that or not. But that is an issue. Not enough to stop me. Like I say, you can always top dress or something afterward. And it's nice to have a starter in the ground, but like I say, with what I got up here, with the amount of manure and stuff, ground setting fallow, there should be nutrients available. And again, I'm not going for 250 bushel acres. I don't know if anybody can afford to do that this year. But then I've gone through everything else, got all the boxes off here. I need to open up the meters yet to double check on them, but all them turned, everything should be fine, nothing's gummed up. All these openers and these spiked closing wheels, that's the other thing. I don't know if these are the right ones to be planting into my type of soil or not. It's the ones I got when I did this. But all of them are loosened up. Them openers are loosened up. So as far as I can tell, all this just needs to be greased, chains oiled, check the drive clutch and stuff. The thing I'm working on here right now is double checking my sensors. You know, what do I do with my brush? I gotta get a different brush. This damn thing's too small and too short. But I already gone through and I cleaned out. Like I say, this one had a bunch of cobwebs in it already. I got everything cleaned out and opened up. Now what all I'm doing is just testing the seed sensor in there. And all it takes is you get this box here. I had to put a new battery in it after all these years. It wasn't working. Put a new battery in it. And then you just plug it into the wiring harness for each sensor. And this is one thing I screwed up. I replaced this wiring harness years ago, and I should have put the newer style. The older style had like this, 3 wires. No big deal. You hook the black wire to black wire, red wire to red, and green to green. But this box comes with this style connector, which this here would plug into the newer style harness. But because I got the older style, I had to buy this adapter to go to that 3-wire pigtail. I mean, it's not that big a deal. Instead, just plug and plug. You know, you got 3 wires to deal with. But anyway, when you hook this up, it energizes that sensor. And if you can see it down here, the red glow, that's the tiger eyes of the sensor. And the way this works, the control box has adjustment, and you set it So when at whatever speed you're going, that it's sensing the seeds, and that the alarm and stuff goes off in the cab. And then when there's no seed breaking that eyelet, then this alarm goes off. So I say, just to test these, all you do is just take your brush, and then that sensor's good. So now I say, I just gotta go down through here and do the rest of these. That's something I forgot to check on today. Yeah, I got enough graphite to get started. I forgot about picking up a can of that. So these boxes on the back, they used to put insecticides in. That makes good toolboxes. Everything stays dry in there, and carry a lot of tools. I've even carried, and this one might even have some. And they're just old seed bags, so you don't leave them in the field, but you can put a half bag of seed in there, open bag, and have extra to carry. So as of right now, I guess this will run to plant corn. I still got a little time to figure out. Like I said, I might tear into these here yet if I can find my box of parts. I really don't want to have to buy any more parts. I already spent enough there in the back truck there today. And I priced fertilizer. That was a shock and a half. Around $750 a ton. I wasn't expecting that. I was back down in the 600s, but I guess it's not. But I'm going to check the rest of these three. Make sure the sensor's good. And then get them boxes back on. And I say, figure out what the hell I'm going to do. So I'm going to get back at this. Well, trying to get going so I can start plowing today, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's already 5 o'clock here now. All I've done today is run. Again, if I had known I was going to be able to, I would have worked on this sooner. But again, if I wasn't going to do nothing, no sense doing with this stuff. But some things I forgot about on these plows. So one the other day I looked at, yeah, that tire is flat. I pumped it up and it held air. So I got it over here, held air. Then I got looking at it and the tread was lifting off the sidewall, and there was another bunch of dry rock cracks and stuff. So I decided, I could have greased this up. I could have went and plowed and been done. Worried about this tire another day. But again, they got rain coming. I don't know if it was really the smartest thing to go out and try to plow today when they got 7 days of rain coming. I guess the next 2 days supposed to be a pretty good storm. Again, it's a toss-up. Do you plow it, let it get soaked up? It'll take longer to dry out. But if you don't plow it, it'll dry up faster to start plowing. It's a one way or the other. Regardless of what I plowed today, I'm not going to do nothing with it for a week, so I'm not pushing or worried about it. But I decided, all right, I'm going to go get a tire. So I went and did that. I'm lucky on this one because it's only a 14-inch tire. I guess 15-inch tires are miserable to find, used ones. And I really don't want to put a new tire on here. And here they had, it's a trailer tire, 8-ply. Well, I want something heavier ply than a regular car tire because I do have a lot of weight setting on it. And I just had them put a new tube in it, tire and tube, $40. So I don't have to worry about that now because I got to go down to my cousin's like 4 miles away, and I'm a half mile off the road when I get back into fields. I don't need that tire blowing down there. So I took care of that. And then, of course, I forgot I need a tire for my discs. I got rims sitting over in them trailers that need tires. I never thought about grabbing one of them rims and getting a tire fixed for that. But again, am I going to find a used 15-inch tire? Might have to buy a new tire for that yet. So that pissed me off today because I forgot that. Then I went to hook this up. I got to go fix the road too. I forgot the last time I plowed, I had set this up for the load monitor. And it acts like a draft control through the 3-point hitch, and it'll lift the cylinder and the lift arms all at the same time. And I didn't feel like hooking it up. I was going to just pull this over here. Of course, the bottom didn't pick up high enough, and I ripped a hole into the berm of the road. So I gotta go fix that yet. And so my dad did hook it up to get it here, but I don't want to plow with the load monitor. So I was going to go to hook that up, and the one hydraulic hose is too short. I forgot I took this cylinder off because the hoses are getting bad. They got a weak spot in them or something. And you can see the jacket's starting to get bad. So I could have pissed around, put that one back on. I'd still have to go get hoses. So I ended up running, went and got that's all I had. The one I had on here was a 6-foot hose, which is fine to reach to that point, but it wouldn't reach over to that one, so I went and got an 8-foot hose to put on there. So I got that all set. Now I gotta grease the thing, make sure the bottom trips are loose. I gotta change that point. I was going to change the points to start, then I said I'm not going to. Okay, that was not broke. I don't know if it shows up here or how well you can see it. You can see how, from this line right here, how narrow this point is compared to the heel. Problem's been, now when you get in the furrow, when it's picked up, you actually want this pointing that direction. Because when this wheel goes in the furrow, you're dropping this side 6, 8, 9 inches, however deep you're plowing. So when you do that, then it levels the bottom. But you can see, even when that happens, it's wearing that end of the point faster than this end. It should be wearing fairly all the way across. So I finally got that one loosened up. This one, I don't think I'll ever get that one loosened up unless I get in a vise and can really grip on it and reef on it. So I shortened that one, so that raises that side of the plow. So in fact, what that ought to do is put this heel deeper in the ground. So when I'm actually in the furrow, it should level it out better. It's kind of hard to tell how high or how much you want to. I guess the way you're supposed to do it is you get on a level piece of concrete or something, and you probably put blocks like 6 or 8 inches down, drive that wheel up on the block, and then lower your plows and make your adjustments till the bottoms are setting level on the concrete. But I'm not going to piss around doing that. I raised that up quite a bit, so it's going to be better than what it was. If it's going to be perfect, I don't know. So, and then as far as, I wasn't going to worry about this today because I gotta, which I might do tomorrow if it gets, since it's going to rain, I got to get gas for my torch so I can burn that weld out of that disc arm, so I can re-weld that, see if I can do a better job the second time that it'll last. But like I say, right now, all that's going to do, if I plow with it the way it is, it ain't going to matter much in corn ground. If I go plow some hayfield under, you want that disc to cut that slit, and then it'll lay more even a furrow. It won't be pulling out chunks. This plow's a little bit easier, but pretty much got that set where I'm going to go with it. I got to get my stops off that cylinder if I decide to set this so it doesn't go quite as deep. Might make some more adjustments here yet because I am, well, this tire is a little bit taller, which I'm kind of glad. I always thought that wheel I had on here was too small. So this one's a little bit taller, might be a little bit wider, but it's an 8-ply tire. That's all I cared. I told them I don't give a shit how wide, how tall, as long as it fits the rim and it's a heavier ply to hold the weight. And that's all I really cared about. So I guess get the grease gun here and see what it's going to do. this is what's nice about a battery-powered grease gun. These things take a lot of pumps to grease up. Especially this tube. I don't know if it does much good. A lot of these joints are getting pretty wore. Yes, I don't know what else to show about greasing. It's just 2 of these on each bottom. And then I gotta make sure these are gonna strip. Make sure they're loosened up. Each disc blade. Should really put a new disc on this one, but there's another one the weld's broke on. Might have to do some of that before I go out. But, and then the main tower here, grease fitting. So like I said, I'm not going to bore you with all the greasing, but I am a little amazed that there ain't many guys going out here today. Guys down the road here that rented the neighbors, were planting yesterday and today. I don't see none of not smaller guys, somebody like 100 acres or so going. All I see is these guys got several hundred acres. I went by one of the few guys left milking cows around here, and I don't see a bit of ground of his where he's touched. Where's the house? There's somebody else. I mean, about the only ones going right now. The one's planting potatoes, and one guy just does soybeans and corn. And they're doing their beans right now that I know of. That's what I was told. Just down here they're doing all beans. The one around here does corn, beans, potatoes. I heard they're not even doing corn this year. That in fact they sold their corn planter. I guess like I say, everybody and their brother's planting. Ain't gonna be worth nothing. At this point, you never know. Like I said, I went to Tractor Supply to get that hose, and I saw a woman over there I know. They farm north of us, older couple, her and her brother, and they had an agreement to sell the farm there. Just getting ready to sign the papers, and the guy buying it, he's got health issues, so they don't know what's going to go on with that. And I'm not surprised that they want to get out of it. They've been fighting with everybody anyhow. It's the same thing here. Everybody gives them a hard time just to get them to quit. And they got health issues. But they want to sell it to somebody that's going to work the ground. They don't want to see it going to development. So, and they're up close enough to here, it would be a development. So who knows what the hell goes on anymore. As I say, that's all I'm doing here, wasting my time probably, but got to do something, trying to make sure you can keep the property. I don't want to see it sold out, developed out, or anything either. So, but I'm going to finish greasing this and see what I do after that. Hold still. I just thought I'd show one last thing I got to check on here is make sure these trips are working. Cat over there. The way these work if you hit a hard object, a rock or something on that point, it's supposed to give enough of a shock that it'll roll this piece will roll back and it'll roll up and let the bottom clear the object. Problem with these plows is, and that's a good thing, the other thing is I gotta stop, pick the plows up, and they'll reset themselves. That plow I showed yesterday in that other video when I was up the climber with the big springs on top, them are automatic resets. They'll trip back and then they'll slam them back in the ground. You don't even stop. And then if you got some nice sandy soil, then another option you got on some of these plows is they'll have a shear pin back in here. And be the 3/8 half-inch bolt or something, and it'll just shear, and then you got to push it back into place and put a new bolt in. Like I say, it all depends on your soils. So let's see if I can get an angle on here, and I'll show you how these bottoms trip. Hopefully I'll get on the right bottom here. Like I say, what happens, this will slide back, and these bottoms will kick out. That's the other thing I want to work with a few times, because I think that's the reason I bent. Yeah, I guess not only did I just drop my phone off the ground shaking it like that, but it shut it off. But that's the basics how these work, and that's why I got to go through here. I'm going to work these a little bit more. I think that's part of the reason why I keep bending these points. I think these are gummed up, at least that back one. But I usually bend either one of these two. And these haven't tripped like they have in the past, so that's why I'm starting to think this roller right there that sits in that notch is gummed up on some of these. So I gave it a little extra grease this year, and I'm going to work around, try to get them loosened up. I mean, maybe that'll be better. But another benefit of these things is, if you pull this back and pull the bottom up like I did, you stick, has to be this way. I take like a 1/2-inch extension, you pull this way back and you slip that in there, and then that'll hold the bottom back here. It's a lot easier to get onto them bolts on them points. You don't have to lay underneath them. You know, there's two different places you can put it. You get to one spot, you can get that bottom almost straight up and down and get a good angle at getting it. So it makes it a lot easier working on them bottoms if you do that. But I guess after I work them things, this will be ready to go. Yeah, I guess maybe I'll add the corn planter on it. So I worked on that yesterday. Pretty much got that ready to go. Just what I'm going to do with the fertilizer, how much more to do to that. So I guess that's about all I'm going to accomplish today. I'm not even going to, like I said, it's almost 6 o'clock now. And I got 2 hours of daylight. I could probably plow 2, 3, maybe 4 acres. Everything just keeps working. But like I say, am I really going to be any further ahead? So I guess I'll just call it a halt there. And in between these next rain days, I'll start working on the disc vine, the hay rake, the tedder, get the baler around here. So we get this rain, you can see what this hay in the yard's grown up to. And it's already up to my knee high. I'm going to let it go a little bit further this year. Like last year I started way early because I needed the feed. I was running out of it. And then bales are hard to bale, hold together. So I think I'm going to, maybe in 2 weeks, start mowing some hay. You know, I can mow hay in the morning, plant corn in the afternoon or something if I have to. I'm hoping I'm not planting corn by then. That's what's going to take the time. If I get the ground plowed, I probably would have all my corn planted in 2 days. If I get the ground already, what I'm definitely going to do here right now, I could have planted in 2 days. Of course, there's guys out there that plant it in an hour and a half, but, and then depending how things go on, like I say, I might try no-tilling some corn somewhere or something. All I'll be out is the seed and a little fertilizer, if nothing else. But with that being said, I guess I'm going to end this one here. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you later.